Hello. This morning I would like to talk about creative flow. Some of you may have seen my other videos on hand-dyed paper, hand-painted papers, and a few people have asked me how I actually make the collages. I have made another video on making collage, and this might show you a little bit about a more spontaneous process. I found in my creative life that there's often things that get in the way of new work, of actually keeping the creative flow going. They can be work, jobs that you have to go to, doing production art, which I've done a lot of in the past, family commitments, all kinds of things can take up your time. Over the years I've kept idea books, so if I get an idea and I'm too busy to follow it, I either draw the sketch or write the idea down in my idea book. But even then, often you never get back to those. Sometimes I would, but some things just never actually come to fruition. So lately, what I've thought is, even if I take an hour or two in the morning, just come in my workroom with my coffee and sit down and work on something, at least I've taken action. I've put that idea into reality. And once you've done that, you never know what will come from it. Sometimes it's not what you thought you were going to be doing, but once you start actually using the paint or your papers, in my case, or drawing or whatever, other things will come from that too. So if you never find that hour, then the things that come out of that never happen. So what I've decided to do is to do that 1 or 2 hours, at least once a week, hopefully more than that, but even just once a week of play, of following inspirations that you get. It's amazing what you can come up with, and it keeps your flow going, because if it keeps being held back, from experience, I found that it eventually will give you a creative block, because there's so many. It's like a whole sort of baggage of ideas that never happened. So at least letting some of them out keeps your flow going. This is what happened to me the other morning. I was looking at this candle holder I have, and I just really like the way the pieces are all the same, but as they're put on this, they leave these white lines in the gaps that aren't even, and they create this energy. And it also gives it a handmade look. You know, it's not exact. The pieces aren't exact in their placement, but it gives you this lovely kind of visual music, in a way, is how I look at it. And I've done I've done abstract collages before. I love piecing just pieces of paper together. I have so many pieces from my dyed paper. As you can see, I keep them in boxes, I keep them on shelves. I have lots of paper to play with. So I decided that morning that I would do a collage, an abstract collage with rectangular pieces. So I got my papers out and made sure I cut everything the same length, pretty close to the same length, 1 3/4 inches, and then any width that I wanted, similar to this, although these are pretty much the same width, and then arrange them in rows. I started with a drawn line at the top, so at least I like the idea of having some at least straight lines in general, but within that I knew that my cut pieces, because I hand cut them, they would not be absolutely perfect, so they would create some kind of energy in the piece. So I played with this, and this was my project for a couple of hours in the morning, and I pieced them all together, and I did come up with a finished piece. So I followed my creative flow, and I'm really quite happy with the result. I'm going to do more of these, and although I didn't quite finish it in those 1 or 2 hours, it didn't take me that much longer to get it finished and glue it down. And if I hadn't taken that hour that morning after being inspired by this candle holder, I probably never would have done it, or I might have done it 2 years from now, who knows. But that's my thought for the day. Try to respond to creative play once or twice a week, even just for an hour, and see what comes up. Thanks for listening.